Hey guys, I'm with Dan Goebel, and he ran.
I wave with both hands. And I'm not gay. Gay people shouldn't be the only one to wave with both hands. I'm sorry.
Whoa. You can have it.
Okay.
I want to have.
Well,
You're keeping that in the intro.
okay. Well, Dan Goebel ran Gruul Monsters, and he came in third.
But then I get 9 every time.
What was your epic prize?
It was this promo Elvish Mystic, and I also picked up.
Oh, nice. Yeah, is that yours?
With my 2 packs, I picked up a Chandra's Phoenix and a Fiendslayer Paladin.
Nice. Okay. Now let's get into the next profile.
I mean, I'll take the
Gruul
next just so that
Monsters.
the game would be fair.
Alright, so we'll start off with my only 1-drops as Elvish
it only hits
Mystic.
your creatures,
It's
something?
just the best, it's the most efficient ramp. It might not be the best because that kind of comes with Sylvan Caryatid as a wall, 1 of any color, and hexproof. But I guess it all dies to any of the gods. But yeah, I mean, just your fastest ramp allows me to get turn 3 Storm Breath Dragons, so I like it.
Combo piece.
Combo piece.
You really have to run it.
Combos with deck.
You must run it to make this deck efficient.
Now, Sylvan Caryatid, I've actually debated going to 3 on. I haven't finalized that because I'm also running 24 lands. I just like having the security of when I don't draw ramp and 24 lands because I might go 23 because with this much ramp, I in theory could go to 23 and be fine.
Yeah, and then like run another like Colonia Hydra or something.
Maybe, but like I've had hands where I didn't see any ramp and it was all late game, so I'm playing it on the safe side and I'm going 24 and 8 pieces.
For now,
of ramp.
until you can make your deck more consistent.
Exactly.
So
Next, I have the Scavenging Oozes. In a deck with lots of mana, it's really nice to have a mana sink, especially with all the aggro in the game. Gaining a life is you shouldn't mock that really.
So how many do you want to be running?
I want to be running 3, although I have 1 right now. I'm borrowing 1 from a friend, and honestly, I would probably run 1 over a Goreclan Rampager.
Yeah, that actually seems fair. Just keep the promo in.
Exactly, obviously. I guess I'll just go into Goreclan, because it's basically another 2-drop, because
It can be a 2 or 4.
Yeah, but it's a sad day in Magic when I'm casting this for a 4/4 body. I would like to use the 4/4 Blood Rush. Because, I mean, 4/4 and Trampler is awesome, because on any body in this deck, it's pretty much, in my opinion, trading with Boros Reckoner and it's not dying. Like, the redirected damage isn't dying.
If you don't know what Blood Rush is, basically you can pay mana and discard the card to give his monster a boost.
And that combos is, like, I can Blood Rush the Scavenging Ooze, and then exile it to pump it again.
Yeah, I know. It's
Combos. It's those little interactions.
Did it turn into a 7/7?
Now you really hurt.
Yeah, with trample.
Yeah.
And it'll gain me a life if I have 3 mana, which I will.
See, I love decks that have these really well.
Exactly.
So
And it doesn't end there.
now we got Domries.
Yeah, we'll go to Domri. It's a staple for any green-red deck. The +1, I mean, it's situational card draw, but if you look at my deck, other than Planeswalkers, it's all creatures. So, in a deck that's 50% creatures, I will gladly take draw a card 50% of the time.
It's a sad day when you miss that +1.
Yeah. I wish I could say it's not Scry, so I can't put it on the bottom.
The good thing about the +1 is that at least you get something to protect it, like another loyalty counter to protect it a little bit.
That's true. A 3-mana Planeswalker that comes out with 4 loyalty is fine in my book. But it's really sweet, too, because the -2... This is also my removal. I had a game where I threw Pelucranos out there and I Domri fought to kill a Blood Baron. And honestly, I don't think you can get any more value than that.
You can't.
Like, unless it was like a Storm Breath Dragon or something.
Unless you got like 100 for 1.
Yeah.
Force your opponent to use 100 cards to get rid of 1.
She's like, I have prediction from black and white. I'm like, that's not green, so I'm cool with that.
Okay.
My other 3-drop are my 2 foil Boon Satyrs, both of which I opened. this guy's really cool because in a deck where you have lots of mana, lots of ramp,
He's a hand trap.
he's a really good combat trick. And, like, he leaves behind a body when he dies. +4/+2, and the flash is just so nice. And, like, I had it in 2 games today where I flashed in at the end of their turn for 3, and it hit them for 4, and with a Blood Rush, I ended up getting in there for 10 with him alone.
The best part about it is your opponent thinks you have nothing.
Yeah.
Like that, you're just like, oh.
Yeah, it's a very interesting day when you're watching a green deck flash things in at instant speed, so that's always fun.
It's like, wait, when did they get blue power?
when did their creatures get instant speed?
Wait, when were monsters instants?
Apparently Gruul.
Yeah.
So my other 3-drop, which I really do believe that this makes the deck, and I might receive a lot of flack from that from people, but
Who cares?
Fanatica Xenagos, I just love it. It's the body I want on Gore Clan a whole turn sooner, and Trample on a 3-drop is just super fun. Like,
It also can get haste or be a 4/4.
I've resolved this thing on turn 2, and like they were like, I guess I give it haste, or like if they don't, like it's super hard to deal with. And Trample makes all their blocks. Like if they put out like a Scavenging Ooze, I had somebody block it with a voice. Like it tramples over, kills it. It's great. I love it.
People have to do so much just to survive when you attack that and not take so much damage that will kill you.
And with this card here, so the notable thing about Xenagod is that he doesn't give them trample. It just gives them haste and berserk, which I mean obviously that's amazing, especially with Stormbreath Dragon. But they could chump my Pulachronos easily, and I've had people do that and they turn back and beat me on the crackback. With trample,
They can't do that.
you trample over damage, and that's just super cool. Like, I love it. It's the little interactions.
Okay, so next, your Hydra, one of your Hydras.
One of my Hydras, or 3 of them, I guess. This guy is just a staple. A 4/4 or a 5/5 for 4 is already great. You put a mana sink on that in a color that's running a lot of ramp, that's removal and pump, and you have yourself an easy place in my deck.
And then it has like a red effect that makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
When I saw this card, I knew this card was going to be good the moment it was released. Like, there's many people who didn't actually. They're like, this card's never going to see play. And I'm like, no.
Yeah,
it's
it
going
will.
to see play.
But, like, it's cool, because, I mean, well, yeah, it's cool, but that's not where I wanted to go with that. I only run the 3. People have asked me why I don't run 4, and I run it for the exact reason that I'm not very happy to see 2 of them.
And
Unless they remove it, like, the
and
minute I play
you
it.
also have a trump card to him that's on mana higher, but worth it.
Yeah.
We'll show you that later.
Okay, so we'll go to Xenagod now.
Why is he called Xenagod?
Well, because this is Xenagos.
Ah, I see.
I mean, I guess I could call him the whole Xenagos God of Revels. Really just a fantastic card. Like, he's a creature a lot of the time because all my shit's permanents. Giving something Berserk is sweet. Like, giving these haste is awesome. Giving this haste is amazing.
Yep, that's the drop card.
And one thing to note about him is that you can play him on turn 4 or 5 with maybe any of these threats out, and you can get his effect the turn you play him. Like, you don't have to play him and then wait a turn to get his Berserk effect. You can do it that combat, which is amazing.
Which makes him so overpowered.
Yeah, like I've done this before.
He's an upgrade compared to
I've
the
done
Xenagos.
this before. Like, it's just good stuff.
You need that. The thing in your deck's lacking is so much trample. You need more trample.
No, I don't.
I know, it's a joke.
Not with the 4 Gore clans. So then I'll go to my 2 Xenagos, one of which is misprinted.
Wait, let me see the misprint.
It's really it's not really that cool. It actually devalues it, but it's got black streaks of ink across it, and on the back of the card it actually has like shading differences, and you can see all the marks. I don't know if it'll show up like that. It's because it shows up in the light, but can you see those black marks right there?
Yeah, I can actually see that through the camera.
Yeah.
Wait, that's a misprint? I thought that...
Yeah, because, I mean, there's no way it's supposed to be there. No, I think so.
That's stupid. Misprints usually upgrade the value.
If it's like thicker name, something like that.
Dot on the middle of the picture.
This just looks like I took a paintbrush and dotted stuff all over. But it has, even though it devalues, it has a special place in my heart as the Xenagos that I opened that's misprinted.
Hey, unlike me, who open like Xenagos every day. Every day, so I'm so ghosting. And your other one is not misprinted.
My other one is a completely normal one. I like Xenagos a lot because if you see like 1 or 2 pieces of ramp, the +1 you can get really creative with. Like you can get super creative with it, and that's like those are the plays that I find interesting. Like
and then his 0 protects him, and then his outs.
His 0 doesn't only protect, like it protects him, but like I mean, I put a lot of pressure on the board today. Like I think I used it 4 times in a game, and like they could because I think he was holding on to Abrupt Decay, which doesn't deal with it. So like he was able to remove my tokens, but I just kept putting them out, and it's really good pressure. The -6 is you exile the top 7 cards of your library, and you can put any number of creature or land cards among them onto the battlefield. Which, if you'll take a look at my deck, it's all creatures and land. So it pretty much just says.
What is with all the red cards exiling cards that use them?
I guess just red and green love ramping into huge things and doing huge effects.
Now for the other red card that exiles.
My Chandra Pyromancer you're talking about?
Yep.
So another people ask me why I don't play Gruul instead of this.
Actually, I think Chandra is better because it puts more pressure.
Well, I'll talk to you why. Well, one, I play her because I don't have Gruul. But one thing I like better is in this deck, Gruul's minus is I should have no trouble casting any of these creatures anyway. So what am I, like, if I was playing like a copy of World Spineworm, then I could cheat it onto the field. So you're really just using Gruul to reload your hand with creatures. Well, Chandra does a very similar thing. It's card advantage, although it's not the same with the 0. It comes out 2 turns sooner, and it does 2 things. Gruul just reloads the hand, which is 1. Chandra gives you card advantage, but it also makes creatures not be able to block this turn. Which in a deck where you're running things that give haste, things that you want to push through, sometimes not blocking and sneaking through that damage can really make a difference.
That's why I thought that card's better than Gruul.
So you get 2 choices instead of just the hand
It
reload.
basically opens up the board to, hey, you see all these big giant creatures? Yeah.
They're all hitting you.
Yeah, they're gonna like punch you in the face now.
And you ping them for 1. Like,
yeah, I love how
get there.
So like they have a 1/1, die. You take 1.
So, for Stormbreath Dragons, it's just so good. Protection from a very relevant color is always amazing. Flying is evasion, haste. For 5, I've done this. I've resolved it on turn 3. I've resolved it on turn 4. I've had it swing in with a Rampage Gore Clan because I ramp into it for.
Wait, is it possible to resolve that turn
3? Yes, it is. Elvish Mystic, turn 1. Then play turn 2 like any source of red, Sylvan Caryatid. And then any other 3rd land, Stormbreath Dragon.
I figured, okay.
And in a white deck, I resolved that in a mono white deck, and I just won. Like, it's just what you do.
Good if the forms, some of the MTG forms are correct about the new god. This would be a good counter for it, and everyone would probably be like, oh, pick on red, take this card. Because if that god's as good as it is, we're gonna need that card.
Yeah. I mean, I hope it gets... Well, it won't get spoiled soon. Born of the Gods just came out. What am I talking about?
But, like, there's some information spoke about it already.
Yeah. And that brings us to the last card, Colonian Hydra. This is a foil one that I got today for $25. So
that's look at that thing just eating people left and right. Oh my god, there's nothing that can get past this card. This card is MTG. This is Magic the Gathering's most feared and deadliest monster.
I don't think so. I like Stormbreath.
Shut
So I would like to run 2 Colonian Hydras.
But
and
you don't have the money?
No, I have the money, and I would easily drop it on one, but I don't know who has them. I would have preferred to get the non-foe, but hey, I'll bling out my Gruul Monsters deck. So I would like to run 2 because So I'm looking down the synergy. When I get my 3 uses, it doubles ooze counters. If they decide to tribute, it doubles my fanatic counters.
Yeah.
It doubles any monstrous counters that are already existing on the
I
field.
just thought of this. Your deck is so compact with cards that it might be hard to figure out what to take out for that.
Well, I was thinking I could take out a Polychronos.
For another Hydra.
Yeah,
It's a Hydra for a Hydra.
probably not a Storm.
No,
That's a touchy
don't take
situation.
Stormbreath. You need him. He's a win condition.
I wouldn't mind taking out one of these two, because like I was saying before, with 24 lands, ramp isn't an issue, and 3 Caryatids might be the right play, or I could run 23 lands. It's really up in the air.
You have to like play test it, you guys, to figure out what you like personally.
Exactly. And honestly, I have no problems taking out a Gorkland Rampager, because it's really just the combat trick. I have the body I want right here, and I mean,
Technically,
yeah,
even
I have
with
no
it
problem
out, you
taking it out.
have 5 combat tricks, and that's still a lot in this game.
Exactly. In a deck that's playing all creatures, I think the fact that I have any combat tricks is pretty cool.
And now lands.
Lands, yeah, no surprise. I play the 4 Stomping Grounds and the 4 Scry lands.
Yeah. If you guys don't know what these do, basically the Scry land enters the battlefield tapped. You get to look at the top card of your library. You can decide if you want to keep it on top or put it at the bottom. The shock, you pay 2 life to play it untapped. If you don't, tap it.
So I'll go. Oh, whoops.
Dad, stop dropping your cards.
I can't help it, man. These are new sleeves. So as for lands, I run actually a decent split down the middle. I think I run 9 forests and 7 mountains, for the simple fact that I want the early red for my Domries and Fanatics, and I want the late game for my Stormbreaths when I don't see my Sylvan Caryatids, which happens a lot more than you would think. And then
Cyborg?
I have the Domri emblem, which is pretty cool.
That's about $100 right there.
That's what makes the deck, man.
It wasn't there an emblem though. I think it was Soren's emblem. Like no one could find it. It was absurd.
Yeah, I never had any.
No, like wasn't it like $1 to get it? Like
Most emblems aren't the most expensive cards.
yeah, but it was like so expensive for an emblem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, that's absurd.
So in my board currently, I run 2 Ember Swallowers. I wouldn't mind taking one out, but against fast aggro, it's fantastic because I might even be able to ramp into it on turn 3. The 5 toughness is great against fast aggro, and I mean I make them sack 3 lands, which I've had this blow people out before, so I have no problems running 2. Full play set of Mistcutter Hydras in the board.
Why not? Blue just dies to it.
Exactly. Can't be countered. Haste. With all the ramp, I should have no problems pumping that thing to
This
be
card's
huge.
value decreased so much with the new set.
Really?
Yeah, it comes in the starter. It comes in the starter.
I mean, it wasn't the most valuable card to begin with, but
Well,
yeah.
like really? Why Magic? Like,
Well, I think they're coming out with a Jace versus Vraska, I think. So you'll be able to pick up your, what's it called?
Brascos?
No, I'm more excited about picking up the Jace, but Architect of Thought. If that's true, that'll be sweet. His value will go down, which I'm excited about.
But yeah, but you have the sweet, sick looking one.
And I wouldn't mind picking up a cool Vraska. I run 1 Destructive Revelry
Because their enchantments are like a threat.
People run Spears, Bidens, Whips. I'm pretty sure that hits Bestow creatures too.
It does.
Which is pretty sweet.
Because you're like, oh, hi. Nope.
Instant speed, and it does 2 damage.
It's like you get
that's
rid of
pretty
something
cool.
and it deals damage. It's nothing you can do.
It's like a 2-for-1.
It is a 2-for-1.
Pithing Needle, that's pretty standard. Hits Planeswalkers, Pack Rats,
Pretty expensive.
Scavenging
though.
Oozes. Yeah, I have 2 of them, but I'm only running 1 on the board. Witch Stalker, that's up for grabs, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
I
8,
actually
9.
don't know about this card personally, but I think it is a good card. I don't
Actually,
think...
no, this actually isn't in board. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So actually, I would take out these 2. And
Wait,
say
did
no.
you give us more than your extra deck is?
That was well, I have
These are 2 options for your extra sideboard, guys.
I mean, well, Which stalker?
Let's hurry this up.
Okay.
The video's almost 20 minutes.
Arbor Colossus, great against Desecration Demon, Stormbreath Dragons.
Actually, I'm surprised you're not running that many. Oh, because you have so many combos, not.
Exactly. I mean, it's a cheap drop, but.
But it's not in your combos.
Exactly. Flesh and Blood, I mean, works great with Gore Clan. Flesh and Blood, basically in this deck, it just says target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature or player.
That's absurd.
So I slide that in against maybe some fast aggro, because especially with my Fanatic of Xenagos, or if you Blood Rush and then Blood them, you can do on the upwards of 14 damage in a turn. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so yeah, you could attack them and use blood and be like, sure.
Mizzium Mortars,
Blood
that's a no-brainer. Hits Blood Barons, Stormbreath Dragons.
It's just to get rid of like
board wipe.
really good cards.
It's mainly to get rid of Stormbreath
And don't forget,
and Blood Baron.
But then you have to worry about green-white is actually a deck now.
Yeah,
Green-white tokens.
Selesnya. Oh yeah.
Selesnya tokens is a deck, so it's like, ugh. You know what I mean?
And then my final two cards on my sideboard would be Rurik Thar.
I haven't seen this card actually hitting a lot of play.
Oh my god, I love this card. Like, I played this against Azarius Control once, and it ended up dealing 12 damage to them because they couldn't deal with it the first turn, so I hit them for 6. And then they drew a Supreme Verdict, and they verdicted, but I mean, 12 damage, and I ramped into it on turn 4.
It's like, who cares? I got a 6-drop on turn 4.
And Vigilance? That's awesome.
With Rage, which is 6/6. Doesn't it have Trample too?
No, it does not, unfortunately. But I mean, it's a sweet card, and it's only like $1, so why not?
So, what do you think the overall price of this deck is about?
Overall price, Stormbreath's probably like around 18. I'm just gonna round that to 20. I could probably say that as Domri as well. So 140, 70. These are 17 right now. It's got to be on the upwards of probably around. Shocks too. Oh geez. Probably around $350, $400. Maybe even more than that. I don't want to do a lot of math right now because these are expensive.
Now the upside to this
These are expensive. These are expensive.
if you have to rate the deck overall with how much you paid for it and all that, out of 1 through 10.
1 through 10?
With like how pleased you are with the amount of money. Oh, hi Matt. With the amount of money that you paid for it and how it has been going for you. Do you think? 1 being like, you're disappointed completely with the amount of money and everything it costs, and 10 being like, this deck is perfect for the amount of money it costs, and you will keep on playing it forever.
I would probably rate it an 8.5 or a 9, a solid 9. I really like it a lot because you ramp into a lot of good shit. It's fast. It is weak to Anger of the Gods if they hit all your ramp, but it's got plenty of mana sinks to put all this extra mana, which I think is sweet. Like, when Xenagos first came out, I really wish his +1 and his 0 were switched so that you could make creatures and +1, but then you could have situational ramp at his 0.
Yeah, but they were talking about this on, people were saying that, and like, at Magic the Gathering was like, that would be too overpowered.
It would be really good. But I'm still very pleased with him because in a deck with a lot of monstrous, a deck with Scavenging Ooze that can eat that, I couldn't be more happy with it. So, and I mean literally the only things I have problems with this deck is when I draw all the ramp and not enough late game creatures, or if I just draw all the late game creatures and not enough ramp. But
does that happen often?
Not too often, because I mean, we'll think about it, because I mean, it's 8 pieces of ramp, and it's a lot more threats than it is ramp, so it shouldn't happen all the time. But it's the variance of Magic. You can't account for everything. I had a hand that was 4 lands, 2 Caryatids, and an Elvish Mystic, and that just wasn't doing it for me.
Well, Dan Gobo, you have made Synagogue very proud with your Gruul monster deck. I am very sure.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. It was definitely, for the first time I've played it, I'm definitely pleased with the results, and I will continue to play this next week.
Well, we'll hopefully get one of the duels actually recorded next
Honestly, I would never.
So,
Hey man, if you're here,
yeah, I'll be here next week, so.
you'll probably be playing though.
Yeah, that's the thing. If I can get someone recorded, we will.
Yeah, I'm sure there will be some people that aren't playing.
Well, see ya, guys. Game Gruul, any final words about your Gruul monster deck?
Foil Colonial Niger, $25.
Bye.